Founding of Hogwarts and the Founders' Story. The stories of Hogwarts founders, Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin, and their conflicts, particularly between Slytherin and Gryffindor, are much more detailed in the books. Salazar Slytherin's creation of the Chamber of Secrets and his departure from the school are only briefly touched upon in the films. The true story of the Ravenclaw diadem. Although the lost diadem of Rowena Ravenclaw is briefly mentioned in the films, the books delve deeper into the diadem's history and Rowena's relationship with her daughter, Helena Ravenclaw, the Grey Lady. Helena stole the diadem, regretting it later, but this story is only a brief moment in the films. The tale of the Peverell brothers. The origin of the Deathly Hallows, through the Peverell brothers, is told in more detail in the books. The story is told as the tale of the three brothers in the Tales of Beetle the Bard, but the films don't go into much depth about the Peverell family, particularly Antioch Cadmus and Ignotus Peverell, the inner workings of the Ministry of Magic. The Ministry of Magic is described in much more detail in the books. Key figures like Amelia Bones, Rufus Scrimgeour, and Bartemius Crouch Sr. play significant roles, but their characters are largely omitted in the films. The different departments, responsibilities, and inner dynamics of the ministry are much better explored in the books. The significance of the Quidditch World Cup. In the films, the Quidditch World Cup is shown briefly, only as an action scene. However, in the books, this event is a grand spectacle. The details of the match, the players, the diversity of the wizarding world in the stands, and the Death Eater attack that follows are much more elaborated. Victor Crumb's performance in the final is also described in great detail in the books. Grindylows and other magical creatures. Magical creatures like Grindylows, Chispurfles, Jarvies, and Nundus are all described in the books and in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. The films show only a limited number of magical creatures, omitting many fascinating species. The Half-Blood Prince's backstory. Severus Snape's Half-Blood Prince moniker is explored much more thoroughly in the books. His family background, including his mother Eileen Prince, and his reasons for choosing this name, are explained in the books, while this history is glossed over in the films. Remus Lupin's struggles as a werewolf. The hardships Remus Lupin faced as a werewolf, how he was bitten as a child, and the impact it had on him are deeply explored in the books. Fenrir Greyback, the werewolf who attacked him, and the prejudice he faced from society are omitted entirely in the films. The Great Wizarding Wars. The wars between wizards, particularly Grindelwald's War, are detailed more in the books and supplemental material. Grindelwald's rise and fall, his relationship with Dumbledore, and its impact on the wizarding world are only briefly mentioned in the films. The meaning behind Voldemort's Parseltongue ability. Harry's ability to speak to snakes, Parseltongue, is explored in greater depth in the books. The connection between Voldemort's ancestry and this ability, and how Harry came to possess it, are important elements in the books that are only superficially addressed in the films. The details of Harry's magical abilities. Harry's magical talents, particularly his natural proficiency with powerful spells, are much more detailed in the books. For example, his ability to produce a Patronus at a young age and his connection to certain spells are not explored as thoroughly in the films. The secrets of Diagon Alley. Diagon Alley is depicted as one of the most vibrant and magical places in the wizarding world, and the books describe it in great detail. The shops, the items bought, and the characters' experiences there are an integral part of the books, but much of this is left out in the films.